A very, very good morning to the Wake Up Chennai Toastmasters Club members and my dear guests. Uh, I always wonder how you wake up early on Wednesdays to join the Toastmaster meeting. And the question always gets answered when I join the meeting. So thank you for making the morning more energetic and more exciting with a lot of deep thoughts from the speaker and the Toastmaster of the day as well. Now, Toastmasters to me is the epitome of opportunities. The beauty here is you just have to know what you want, and then you have a lot of ways to get whatever you want. That's the beauty of this program. So how does opportunity comes to us in Toastmasters? Sometimes, yes, you will be lucky that people will come to you, ask you to take up a role or ask you to sign up for a leadership term. And I have been definitely one of the lucky few people who have been approached by people. Sometimes opportunity came to me, but I think the more better ones or the real valuable ones are the ones where I aspired, understanding that this role will definitely help me benefit as a person. So in Toastmasters, I would classify the roles or the opportunities into two ways. One, leadership growth. Another one, your communication or your speech growth. Of course, the leadership requires a lot of communication, but that would be offline. For example, it would be one-on-one persuasion, one-on-one inspiration to make someone to do something. You will still need a lot of communication, but your communication term or the communication opportunity would be purely to work on your communication skills to present yourself in a stage. So let's look at this communication opportunity because this is almost same, but the scale would be different. The first opportunity to grow as a speaker, you have an aspiration to do better as a very good speaker. There are 4 types of contests that happen year on year. One is called as the humorous contest. Another one is speech evaluation contest. And then there is a table topic contest and an international speech contest. In this, the humorous and the international speech contest are basic prepared speeches where you prepare a 5 to 7 minute speech, deliver in front of audience. And then if the panel of judges vote for you as the best speaker for that day, then you keep marching towards. And then it starts from the winner of a club will go to area, the winner of area will go to division, the division will go to district, and then the district will march forward if it is an international speech contest. So if you don't understand this hierarchy, perfectly fine. As long as you understand that you keep winning the speech contest, you have bigger and bigger and bigger stages waiting for you to show or portray your talent. Now, the other speech opportunities, apart from the speech contest, is the role of MC or the role of being an educational speaker, wherein you can go and conduct an event. Of course, today, whatever the Toastmaster of the day is doing is very similar to what an MC would do in a non-Toastmaster lingo. So it starts from the club level where you start as a Toastmaster of the day. You try with different kind of themes and different kind of presentations. And then there are events that happen across area, division, and district. So you could sign up for that role where you will be able to impress a different set of audience, probably completely unknown set of audience as well, and then take it forward from there. Apart from MC role, there is an educational speaker opportunity role. For example, today I am invited to come and speak for 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes it may be purely based on knowledge. Sometimes it may be for experience from you as a speaker. So in both ways, if you improve on these two, you will be able to get those opportunities. Again, people may invite you or you may volunteer to send your profile saying, hey, you know what, I could do a session on this. This is something that I want to try. So where do you have an opportunity to go and try? It always starts at your home. You start with your club, you go to your vice president education, say that, okay, I have a 15-minute session that I've prepared. I would like to give a try. Ask your VP for a slot, do it, and don't worry even if it doesn't work well. But it helps to have one person or two people to help you observe what you did, what went well, and then come back to you at the end and tell you what you can work on. It may not even be a online evaluation that you hear immediately. more important is the offline feedback that you connect with the person and receive from. So with this approach, you can improve on an educational speaker. Now, this need not be purely on Toastmasters. Today, I'm speaking about Toastmasters, but it need not be. For example, it could be something that you believe in. Something like today, Toastmaster of the day was speaking about the values that you should follow and you should not follow. You could do a session on that. You could do a session on communication, you could do a session on leadership, or you could do a session on the usage of petroleum and how to reduce it. It could be any topic on the earth. As long as you want to be an educational speaker for this, it would help you. There is also something called as Educational Speakers Bureau that TI acknowledges, which is something that is in a very nascent stage in our district. We just started with it last year. Next year, one of my focus areas would be to pursue on that as well. So if you are interested to be an educational speaker who will have an opportunity to go and speak to audience all through, like for example, you may be having an opportunity to go to a different corporate, a different college, all these are possible through this avenue. So this is if you want to pursue your journey as a speaker. So you have an opportunity to be an MC, you have an opportunity to be a speaker, you have an opportunity to be a speech contestant as well. So these three opportunities can be pursued upon so that in the real life, wherever you want to be as a person, for example, you envision yourself to be like a Robin Sharma in few years, you could use this as your testing ground. Okay, this is your speech path. Now, beyond this, we have something called leadership opportunity. But before I get there, I want to show you a single page. Let me show this to you. This is from District Leadership Handbook. This is available for all. You can just go to toastmasters.org or you can go to Google and look for District Leadership Handbook. So the reason I'm bringing this here is for you to have an idea of the leadership opportunities available in Toastmasters. And literally anybody can become any leader in this chart actually. So if you see here, it starts at the club level from the president to immediate past president. Then you have the area where you have an area council where there is a area director with whom there is an assistant area director for program quality, club growth, secretary, president, area secretary. Apart from this, these are club roles that are part of the area council. Similarly, in division council, you have division director for club growth and program quality. Okay. Similarly, you have another role called, apart from this. So after club, you have the area. For you, if you're wondering what is an area, 3 to 4 clubs together will form an area. Similarly, 3 to 4 areas will form a division. Now, about few divisions in a particular geography will be grouped together to form the district. So there is a district trio position, club group director, program quality director, and a district director. Apart from that, you also have district admin manager, district finance manager, district PR manager in the top 7, along with the immediate part district director. Now, this is all up to district level. Beyond this, there is a position called region advisor. This position is like an advisory position where they work with the districts to help them work better, to conduct trainings, to groom them, pitch in when there is a requirement kind of thing. Now, beyond that, you have the board of directors for the international board of international directors. So there are international directors for each of the international director divisions. So there is a specific number of international directors all through the world. They all form the board of directors there. Apart from that, there is a international president elect, first vice president, second vice president, and of course, there is always the immediate past person will always be part of the council. Now, this may be a little overwhelming for you to see. The reason I showed is for you to understand that there are so many leadership opportunities. Today, even the dear Modi read my profile, you would have seen I've done this role, that role as a leader. But that is only a little bit that I have done. There are a lot more that you can do. Okay. Now, if you want to know what exactly a particular role is for, of course, you can always refer to the leadership handbook. But what I wanted to focus on is for you to understand what you want to do and then map it to where you want to be there. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. In your profession, okay, in your profession, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years in terms of your position? It could be in your same corporate, different corporate. What is your position that you see in the next 5 years? Let's hear from a couple of you so that I'll see if I can map it to any of the leadership positions here. Okay. So I'll give you few seconds. Just give a thought. Where do you see yourself in terms of your leadership position in your profession in the next 5 years? So if you have an answer, you can raise your hand or you can just unmute and speak also.
Yeah, Gayathiri, Kalpana here.
Yeah, Kalpana.
I would like to be part of board of directors.
Board of directors.
Or something at the executive level.
Executive level. Okay, fantastic. And any other answers?
Okay, so I'm right now an individual contributor in my profession. Say if I want to go to an higher hierarchy, like I want to have people employ and then make them do the work. So how to map it with the roles that you were explaining? Like what would help?
Fair enough. We'll do that. Okay. Yes, Alex.
So right now I have one business as a full-time business and one part-time. Probably 5 years down the line, maybe 5 businesses in different verticals and to mentor and coach startups is what I would like to be in a position or a place to be.
Beautiful. I think I've got 3 different answers. So one person is the individual contributor today, and this person wants to be a person where few people would be reporting, or rather he would have an opportunity to groom few people to do the work that he's doing today. This is the first step of leadership, I would say. So let's take a little time for this one alone. So whoever has not answered, I'm pretty sure you would be able to fit in your answer in one of these actually. Either you will be an individual contributor where you foresee yourself being that lead or manager who has a lot of individual contributors working along with that person. Or you would be in a middle or a kind of senior manager who would want to scale up into a top executive level. And Alex is very different, which is something like he is the owner and he wants to be an owner for a lot more of such ventures. Okay, so let's start with Bharani's idea where he is an individual contributor today. Now he, say for example, he foresees himself as a project manager in the next 5 to 6 years. Okay. Now, one of the very, very important attributes of grooming as a leader from an individual contributor is the ability to make another person do what you are doing, at least with 80% of the quality that you produce. Okay. The reason I'm saying 80% is because you will never be able to get that 100%. But if you are okay to settle for 80%, they will satisfy it beyond 100% in a different way. Okay. So this is the first step. We have to be able to delegate tasks and see that there is probably a little more that you would have done as a person and let go of this. Okay. This I see as a very important attribute for a individual contributor to grow as a leader. Now, this delegation has a lot of layers to it. First thing, you should be able to identify what he or she can do as a person. If you assign the wrong task to wrong person, they will not be able to perform. Many times we may not have the privilege to find another person to do that task. So I like the other way approach of identifying what is the comfortable part of this person with respect to this task, and then find another person, or if it is a little part, you can fill it. For example, you have a person who will beautifully write codes. the quality of the code that they create will be extraordinary. But if you ask that person to come and explain that to your client, saying that this is the functionality of this application, with this you can do all this, that person may not be the right person. So as a leader, it is your work to ensure that you project his work as his, and at the same time, the projection is also convincing for the client. So probably you will take over the presentation, or you will ask that person to create the content and present it along with another person. It could be in plethora of ways that you can do. Now let's come to Toastmasters and this particular rule. Here in Toastmasters, today, if you have been a club executive committee member, if you have not practiced this, you should do this. As a VP or as a president, your job is to ensure that you delegate the tasks and ensure that you don't pitch in and do that. For example, when I was the VP, I told my executive committee that I will not be the backup speaker. It is not going to be me. I am going to take up these many slots in the 6 months term, and I will ensure that I am not filling in place of someone else. Before my term, I was the backup speaker who was always there, who would come in and pitch in. So when I did this, and it was, I mean, I just said it in a flow, but then it was very difficult to implement because I had to understand the strengths of my club members. For example, I should know who will definitely give a speech if they sign up, who will definitely not give the speech if they sign up, who will back out in the last minute, who will become cold feet on one day before. One day before, they'll say, I have an emergency tomorrow. Hey, don't lie. How will you know if there is an emergency tomorrow? So the reason is they are feeling cold feet. So you should be able to understand who is what. If you start doing it in Toastmasters, you will be able to do that in your profession as well. Now, club BPE is a smaller scale. If you have done that, you could scale up to area director, where you will have very different set of club people to work with. For example, as the area director, you see that one of your club is not meeting regularly. 1 or 2 meetings, you could go pull up things and then start meeting. But it is your responsibility to ensure that they start doing the background work, ensure that they organize it properly, and then meet week on week. So trust me, it's not going to be an easy task. When I was an area director, one of my clubs was a corporate company, and the president of the club was the center head of one of the verticals. He had about 600 people reporting to him. Now, this person did not have the time to join the meeting as a president, and I cannot let go of it. So I cannot ask him to step down also, because he wanted it for his vertical. He thought president is a very prestigious position. Let me sign up for it. He didn't knew the mammoth of the work that was required. So in my office at that time, I was a very, individual contributor at the leaf level of organization. But as the area director, I had this task to go back to this guy and say, you know what, you have to come for this meeting. I cannot do it in a commanding voice, but I used to regularly call him. I would ask him, can you at least make it in the beginning and in the end? Maybe in the middle, if you want, you can leave and come back if you have a call. Because presiding officer should open and close the meeting. We don't want someone else to do it. I kept asking this for a period of time, and I kept visiting the club. So this person eventually obliged. So of course, the club sustaining is a different story, but I learned the art of getting the work done from someone who is very senior in both age, experience, and ego, and still make them do what you want them to do, end of the day. So if you are not very comfortable doing that in your office yet, start playing in Toastmasters. At the maximum, you may not be able to do it, which is still another lesson you will learn to understand how to handle these kind of situations. So this is one way I would say, at least do a level of area director. And if you want to, I would say in Toastmasters, take a little higher level and face better challenges, so that in your office, you will find it much easier. Today, I am a project manager and I have a team of about 20-25 people. Trust me, I have no problem managing them, mainly because I've seen more difficult people in Toastmasters to manage. Because a club group director's role is tougher than the project manager role in my office. I have never had problem with people, because the minute I speak with them, I'll understand, okay, this is this person's strength, this he cannot do, this she will do with beautiful way and all those. So it is much faster. So my office work looks much easier to me. I do it faster. So people think I'm a super duper performer, but the reality is I face tougher challenges in Toastmasters, because the higher you go in Toastmasters, it is very difficult for you to understand what people actually are. This is a very brutal, honest reality that I've seen, which takes me to the question from Kalpana, where you see yourself as a board of director or executive kind of a role in a few years. I would say one of the things for you to do would be to scale up to, say, at least a division level or a district level role. And I will come back to this point where you have more roles than just the hierarchy of people that I said, which will be the last point that we'll probably discuss. But Kalpana, one of the important aspects of being an executive or a board of director member is that you have to understand that your co-workers are not your friends. They have their own agenda, and probably you will be able to work in a friendly way, but they may not be what they look like. And I mean, initially I used to get furious, worked up over why are people not being honest, why are people not being open. At least now I've come to terms that this is how people are. Probably there are very good valid reasons about why they are that way. They might have had bad experiences in the past because of which they behave this way. But what I focus, I mean, I can't speak in general. I can't speak saying that this is the best possible way to approach. But the way I approach is, I am working with you for this particular piece of work. This is your task and this is my task. We are here together. Are you sincere enough? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? If not, let's have a conversation to understand what is stopping you. Do you need more help? Are you short of time? Are you not happy doing this? Let's understand and take it forward. So the minute we have this maturity and forget about what all they do beyond that, I think it makes our life very easier. Again, this is not something that I'm saying as a philosophy or something that I've learned. This is something that works for me. But the more you scale up in Toastmasters, the higher you go, the kind of people you will interact is going to be very, very different. Like I said, in area director role, I had an opportunity to get the work done from a vertical head. Today, as a club growth director, I have worked with CEOs of a lot of company. I mean, convincing them to start a club, but beyond that, start a club in the way I want. I say you have to pay for a year. You have to ensure that your employees will be attending regularly. You have to ensure that the employees voluntarily sign up. I will not take the list of 20 people that you give me. I want to conduct a session. I want to ask them to voluntarily sign up for it. At least I need 15 of them voluntarily signing. In case 5 of them, if you want to appoint, that's fine. So we dictate terms to them. Of course, it's not dictation, but I mean, when it is put across, it is in a polite and kind way. But then in reality, we do what we want to do through another set of people. And the level of people you interact with will change with the level of position that you hold in Toastmasters. If you ask me what is the work of a program quality director, it is much like vice president education at the club level on a very large scale. That's as simple as that. Here you do educational session, there we do TLI sessions. Here you organize contests, there we organize contests for the entire district. So the scale is different, but when the scale increases, the kind of challenges, the size of people, the variety of characters that you come across also increases. And the more you expose yourself in a very uncomfortable situation in Toastmasters, the better you will be equipped in a corporate life. Even whatever it is, even in your personal life, it's the same. Like I've been worried or intimidated about few of the relatives, the way they behave. At least like 2-3 years ago, it was not a very comfortable thing for me. Today, they are intimidated by me because I don't care about them. They can come and say whatever they want, and I'll be just smiling at them, looking at their primitive thoughts, and I'll just let it go like that. So the idea here is when you grow up, you change as a person, as a human. Now, for the point that Alex was saying, I'll take 2 minutes to wrap this up. One of the important things, of course, as an entrepreneur, one of the important aspects is for you to get the work done by another person. Of course, I think that is something that Alex should have been good at, otherwise he wouldn't have 2 ventures going on. Now, to scale this up, one of the important thing is the contact. I think that comes as you scale up. For example, if you go to the role of, say, district director, ideally we get to meet people from all the nations, at least during training, we connect with them. But that's more like fellowship. But the minute you scale up, say, as a region advisor or as an international director, you work with people across countries. To me, that is the largest scale of venture that you would do when it comes to working with people beyond our culture, our language, our faith and belief. Everything is very different when it comes to working with people across countries. So that is something that you will get a very good exposure. And I have personally seen many entrepreneurs taking advantage of this position to grow their business. They purposefully scale up. They are very passionate to scale up in Toastmasters, mainly because it gives them a very good value add in their entrepreneur profile. Like you go and meet someone, you could casually say, you know what, last week I was in Japan. I was talking to this company on a very important mission. And it would have been that you would have went there to do a training session or Toastmasters. You don't really have to speak about Toastmasters there. So the kind of profile you build for yourself is very important as an entrepreneur. And of course, beyond that, sales and all other skills are something that you will keep practicing day in and day out when you take up a leadership position. Wherever you take leadership position, you have sales involved. Even as a secretary or a VP, you have sales involved. You have to convince someone that today is the best slot for you to give the speech. Otherwise, you will not be able to shine as a VP. So these are a few ways where you could use the Toastmasters opportunities to grow in your professional and your personal life. Professional, you will see the conscious change. Personal, all of a sudden, you will realize that one day, the way you are seeing in your family is very different. Of course, they may not be very supportive when you keep going out, but that's okay. Eventually, you will learn to handle that also. But beyond that, the way they see you, they'll start looking up to you in a very different way. That is something that will happen eventually. Now, one last point that I mentioned where I will say is, you saw this hierarchy of people here, right? But there are so many roles beyond that as well. If you think you cannot sign up for area director, be part of the area council member. If you think you cannot be part of that also, be the chair for an area event. It will still give you that leadership opportunity, for probably a smaller scale. Now, one of the good things that we've done in our district is whatever opportunity comes from the district, it will be sent as an email to all the members. So today, I think you should have got the email for nomination for area director and extended team role in the district level. So see what interests you. Look at the profile. Look at all of these opportunities. See what will map to your aspirations. What is it that you want to work upon? It could be either your strength or your weakness. That's the beauty here. You don't really have to be the strongest person in a particular area to take up that role. If you have the aspiration and time, definitely you can get the training and coaching involved for taking up that opportunity. So take up that opportunity and scale forward, whatever it is. So, but first thing is identify what you want to do, and then see what Toastmasters can do for you in terms of that opportunity, and then take it forward. If by chance you are not able to map, talk to your mentor or your district leaders, any of the district leaders. They should be able to definitely guide you to understand how you can grow as a person using the opportunities in Toastmasters. I'm sorry for taking a little extra time, but I hope the information I shared was useful to you. Feel free to talk to me if you think this is something that you couldn't map, you don't know what can be done for a particular role or opportunity at any point of time. All the best and grow through Toastmasters. Back to you, Toastmasters.